Hello, and welcome to another episode of Talking Snacks, episode 15 of a gaming podcast. You're joined by, as always,
It's me, Cuff Hopper, here 15 straight, except for that one time.
Except for that one time.
And I'm joined by...
Oh, I never do introductions. My name is Snacks.
Oh, is that... okay.
Joined by Roger. There you go.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, you did miss one. Forget about that sometimes.
Yeah, man down. Episode 9.
Was that 9? Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Oh.
I listen to these frequently.
Nice.
Yeah.
At least we got a viewer. A listener. Viewer-listener.
I don't know what that says about my ego, but whatever.
I listen to him sometimes, too.
I like listening to the banter.
I think we do a good job. But, there's this part in my head where, I feel like that. I don't want to listen to it because it makes me a bad person.
Yeah.
But, I'll put it on and just be like, make sure we sound okay, make sure everything went alright. And then I'm like, oh, yeah. It's kind of funny what I say here.
Right.
Oh, man. Yeah, Cup said that. That's good. Yeah. And then I end up 30 minutes into it with a grin on my face like, we are goobers. You know?
No, the one with you and Cave I probably listen to the most. Just because, it's funny, and it lines up perfectly with my drive out to UNCG, because it's about an hour and a half-ish.
To get there?
No, the episode, dog.
Oh.
The length of the episode. And it's just enough time for me to, drive from my house to school, get to my class, and then when I get out of class, put it back on, and by the time I get home, it's, wrapping up. So.
Oh, okay. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, no.
It takes you an hour and a half, but you're saying both ways. Okay.
Right,
gotcha.
round trip.
Yeah.
Thereabouts.
God damn. The hell route are you taking?
Bro, 73 goes straight to UNCG. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
Really hype.
Yeah.
73 goes to everything.
It does go to everything.
So,
yeah.
Shout out to, if you live in the Greensboro area, 73 is fire.
We need one of those guys that does the compilations for big name YouTubes, and we need to compile all your shout outs to just random shit.
Just random stuff.
Yeah. Quick shout out to I don't fucking know, but I swear we've had some goofy ones.
You know, 73's been there for a while now, but that shit was under construction for years. And then when it finally opened, I never really used it for anything. All I knew is it went from here to it connected to High Point, 68 area, and I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't know it just kept going and going and going.
It pretty much connects
everything.
A good bit of the cities to everywhere. Yeah, you can pretty much get on it from a lot of the cities.
So welcome to this week's episode of Infrastructure Talk.
Yeah, this week we're going to talk about Jerry Brown, who's lead constructor over there. I don't fucking know. Sounded good. We're going to do our thing. And what is our thing, you may ask? Video games. That's what we do.
That is what we do.
It's been a week.
That has been a week.
Has been a week. Sometimes these weeks just don't feel like weeks. I swear it feels like a couple of days. So it's just I don't know, 2 days ago we were doing this.
Yeah,
they're fast.
It definitely feels like that for me, especially. I'm assuming you're about to ask me how my week's been.
Right, I am. How's your week?
It went by quick, like you said. School's all but wrapped up, so it's literally finals week right now. So last week was last day of classes for a lot of things. Most classes didn't even have a last day of class. It was just you can show up if you want to, if you don't, whatever. So.
Well, why would you show up?
I didn't. That's what I'm saying.
But why would they give you that option?
Well, a lot of times they hand out study guides and review stuff and all that good jazz. But last week I literally went I think Monday and Tuesday, and that was about it. So I had a 5-day weekend just about. And yeah, other than that, met up with the D&D group, but we played Magic instead, and then hung out over here a bit. I haven't been playing too many games recently because Disney Plus has ruined my life. That's been my week, just about.
My week's been interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Elaborate.
Had a weird physical ailment, I believe, is what I would, I guess what you would call it, really. Not what I would call it.
Did it defeat you?
It's my foot. Nice. I don't know. My foot started hurting for a couple days. Couldn't walk on it. No fucking real reason. So that's probably not a good sign. But moved
it's
past it.
Usually a sign of a blood clot or a stroke.
Is it really?
Typically.
Oh, neat.
Yep.
Neat. Well, what if it goes away?
Probably still not great.
Fantastic. Anyway, so I was kind of limping around at work and everything, and got into a little thing with one of my coworkers, older gentleman.
Can you elaborate on the podcast or?
Basically, there's 2 delivery trucks at work, and one of them happens to be an automatic, one is not, and he always snags the automatic, which doesn't bother me. But with my foot hurting, I didn't feel like changing gears, so I was like, "I'm gonna take your truck."
Understandable.
And he got very mad that I took his truck, and left work. Mumbled shit under his breath. Hasn't come back. Got the schedule back. He quit.
Oh, he did?
Yep. He's not on the schedule.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that the other night and was just kind of like left in suspense. So, boomers, I guess.
I don't know. He actually left and went to my main boss man in the other store. He owns a couple stores, and went straight to him and started talking a bunch of trash about me. My boss man called me and was like, "Hey, I just want you to know Charles came up here and said a bunch of things about you." I'm like, "Where do we get from here?" He's like, "I don't know. Like, most of the shit he said is not true, obviously." I'm like, "Okay. What all did he say?" Basic stuff. He don't work. He don't do nothing. And the boss man was just like, "Look, I didn't know what to tell him. Like, I'm not going to just fire you because he doesn't like you.
Right.
But you obviously come to work and your work gets done. So I don't know what his problem." Anyway, so that happened. Very interesting to find out someone that you work with just generally does not like you.
Yeah. Most people try to keep that suppressed at work, or attempt to anyway.
So it'll be an interesting week this week. I feel like everybody will come up to me and be like, "What'd you do? What'd you do to old what's his face?" I don't know.
I didn't do anything.
I don't know. I don't know what I did.
It's a different generation, man. Stuck in their ways.
Yeah. Other than that, games wise, I got Borderlands 3, a little late, but I've been playing a lot of that. I chose the Beastmaster.
I haven't played him, but
he's fun. Seems kind of cheap. Just spam your little birds. Seems to...
Well, all the characters start out
pretty broke.
Kind of that way, a little bit. As you get up, and it's Borderlands. It's all PvE, so you're supposed to be overpowered.
I had one instance where I was playing online, and a bunch of people, just randoms, and they left me right before a boss battle, and I was still into it. So I was like, "Hell yeah!" It was rough.
I can imagine.
It was rough by myself. Fire Ice Guy.
Fire Ice Guy.
Mm-hmm. He had a big
suit.
Yep. That guy. Just
Trot.
Yeah,
I believe that's his name.
He was a bitch by yourself.
But he can be.
Yeah, he spams a lot of things everywhere, and it's hard for one person to deal with all that.
Yeah.
Especially most of my abilities are fire and ice based, so he was resistant to all of my abilities.
Yep.
Yeah, so I basically just ran through all 3 of my guns' ammos on him. And
there's like little guys running around you can replenish ammo and stuff from, right? Like little chests and things to kind of scatter.
Yeah, but it took about 10 tries, just trial and error, finding out what worked, just to get his health down. Had to switch some skills around too. So,
definitely not meant to be played by yourself.
Yeah, I could feel it there. I think normal like story progression before you get to bosses is okay, but you get to a boss, it definitely seemed more player. Yeah. Other than that, Master Chief Collection came out on PC, and boy, that is taken over a lot of my time.
Yeah.
Yep. Not great at it, as you've seen, and anybody
you got to use the controller, right? That's the hype.
I guess I don't want to.
Why?
I just don't. I don't know.
It's an Xbox game.
Don't call me. Yeah, okay. Don't call me elitist yet.
Sounds pretty elitist to me, homie.
But
you're running an Xbox game on a PC, and you still using the mouse and keyboard even though it's inefficient?
Well, either way, if you've caught the streams, you've seen me pretty butt at times, every now and then. My strongest weapon, I swear, is the sniper rifle.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. Get about head level, strafe, buddy.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
Yeah. Imagine if you had aim assist.
Yeah. But I still, like I said, I'm struggling with a lot of like the damage. It's a weird game to come from in 2019 too, especially
go back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the regenerating
arcade tournament, or not like that Unreal Tournament feel where you can jump 10 feet in the air. And
that was super rough when I first started. Just I want to jump constantly because how high you jump, and it felt like something that would. But when you jump, you basically lose a lot of momentum, and you're a floating target in the air for a long time. That and regenerative shields, and just weird. It took me a while to even get the hang of that, but now I kind of know how many bullets it takes and what it takes to actually put someone down instead of me just screaming like, "What the fucking bullshit!" Bullshit. Yeah. I've actually been my whole fucking week with that.
I think out of all the old school Halo games, Reach was probably the one we played the least. Kind of because it was towards the tail end of like Halo kind of teetering off.
Yeah. I think it was the last one made by Bungie.
I believe that's right. But 2, 3 played the absolute hell out of
I
those.
want 3. If you don't know that Master Chief Collection released December 3rd, I was hoping we would get all the games immediately, but they're trickling them out in chronological order.
Well, that's kind of how, I guess that's how they want people to keep coming back, or I suppose.
Yeah. So as of right now, all we have on PC is Reach. And my fondest memories come from 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember Forge with all you guys, and the shield, like the drops. You had like an extra ability or something. Remember you had shield drops.
Well, they had the equipment picks up. You could pick up like the bubble shield or like the portable man cannon or like little, whatever you call it, little jet boosty thing. You could throw it and then boost up to a place or whatever. And they kind of replaced those with the equipment or the loadout things and Reach. Reach was just weird to me personally because they changed a bunch of stuff subtly. Like they got rid of dual wielding.
I was wondering what that was too. Yeah, because
no, they did.
I would love to have the dual magnums.
Yeah, that was great. That was great in 3. There was all kinds of dual wielding combinations. But then they had the like you said, what you call it, the loadout things, the jetpack, the camo, the hologram stuff. Like those are all neat and everything. It took a little while to get used to them, but the biggest one for me was the battle rifle became the DMR.
I hate it.
I'm not a fan of it.
People use it very efficiently, but the bloom effect, which is something else that's kind of when you go back in time to something like that, it's rough. I wanted to just shoot constantly, and I remember you kept coming into the streams. You're like, "Dog, time your shots," and I'm like, "What does that mean? Time your shots?" And then, like a couple days later, I was looking and I was like, "Oh, there's the reticule blooms when you shoot. Is that what you're talking about?"
Yeah,
and you're like, "Yes."
It recoils a bit.
What did you think? I don't know, man. I didn't know what the fuck was happening. But yeah, you can't just repeatedly shoot that deep. Pretty much any gun.
Yeah, because like 2 and 3, you can have a battle rifle and just zoom in, and 3 bullets go perfectly laser beam straight, and you know that was the whole thing. But in Reach, you have to sit there and just trace every freaking, like every little strafey, Halo player straight back and forth thing. And I was not great at it. I played it well enough to get the hang of it, but like I prefer the battle rifle all day, every day. Biased, got used to it. One grenade, boom, explodes. Battle rifle shot should seal the deal.
Sometimes grenades damage in this game baffles me as well.
Yep.
If you stick someone with a grenade, it's instant death. But if you lay down face first with your mouth on the grenade, it only takes your shields down.
Frag grenades can't kill. That's the main thing, though. Frag grenades are meant for taking shields away and flipping vehicles. In Halo 3, that was learning the grenade trajectories and physics was a whole thing. Cause
you just blew my mind.
Yeah, like...
No wonder.
I don't know if you've noticed it, but grenades have a certain mechanic where they don't detonate until they hit the ground. So, like the trick...
They have to bounce.
Yeah, they have to hit the ground, bounce, and that kind of sets the timer, so to speak, and it's usually like a half a second out. You throw the grenade, it hits the ground, and go ting, 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 boom. And then you shoot them after their shields are low or whatever. That's how you did it in Halo 3. I don't really know if it still works that way in Reach.
Crazy thing that I learned. Did you know you could shoot grenades in Reach?
Yeah, oh yeah. You can do that in 3.
Didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I killed someone like that. It made me really happy because I seen him throwing a grenade and I was like, fuck, and just random bloom hit it right before it left his hand. He died, flew off the map, and I was like,
what?
I had to Google that. I was like, you shoot grenades in this game? Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, because I don't remember if they had it in Reach or not. Can you still go through and like, I forget what they called it in 3, but can you go in with like the replay thing and film things?
I think it's there, yeah. I looked into it. It has some of my old matches kind of tucked away.
Because that was
I haven't watched them though, or...
That was a big thing in 3, was like, you remember you could play like a match and then go into like I forget what it was called. It wasn't Forge, because that's where you made the maps and stuff. But you could go through and like replay and like spectate and like have the camera, and you could create like cinematic little like fucking movies and stuff. And like every week there'd always be like the top.
Oh, you could actually you could stick it to your player card too. That way, if someone went,
they could like
they could see your little recordings or something that you did.
Colby and Justin messed around with that a lot, making like really artistically cool looking like pictures and things. And I mean, we mainly use it just for like montage purposes, just like 12 and 1 on SWAT, whatever, like stuff like that. That was a cool feature. Yeah, people making like hot anime girls out of weapons. You remember those?
No.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
I was gonna say, it's kind of now on the wayside because everything captures everything now.
True.
If you're on console, most of your consoles have it built in. And
but this was neat though, because you could actually go in and like fly the camera up around in like different angles. It was basically
watch the whole match.
Yeah, it was a machinima tool essentially for like that kind of thing. It's neat.
Yeah. So that's pretty much been my week. If you guys, anyone, PC Master Chief Collection, hit me up, man. Been dying to have some.
Are there plans to make it crossplay, or is that just?
I don't know yet.
That seems like that would make sense to me. I mean, I don't.
Yeah. Well, we don't even have the whole game yet, so that's kind of butt.
I'm wanting to see what Halo 2 is gonna look like on your setup over here. I bet that'll look hype.
Yeah, I mean the game looks good. I can get it to run 4K, of course, but I mean it's a fucking 10-year-old game.
I'm talking about the remastered version.
Yeah,
because when that came out, I think it was the Master Chief Collection where they redid too.
Yeah, they called it like Anniversary Edition,
something like that. I remember playing that on the Xbox One, and I was just like, "Wow, this looks ridiculous." Just a complete overhaul over.
Well, if it's actually built from the ground up, I doubt I'll play it in 4K.
I don't know. I mean, it's a little older at this point, so you could.
Yeah. We'll see. Only time will tell. Yeah, it's been our weeks.
Yep.
So let's dive down into what we have as news.
Okay.
News. Should we get like a thing?
Is that a thing?
I don't know. Should we get one though?
News.
A soundboard. That's what we need. We're gonna be a radio now.
There you go.
First thing on the news tab over here, the Game Awards coming up this week.
Thursday, 12/12. So, go to GameAwards.com and
just Google it. Yeah, we did our part today. We went and voted for what we think deserve to win.
Spoiler: it's Resident Evil 2 on everything, just about.
Yeah. So, get your voice out there. Show, give credit where credit is due. Don't just let fucking Hideo Kojima win everything because he touched a fucking computer one time 6 months ago and Death Stranding was born.
Vote for what you think is right, please. Don't just follow hype. It's use your opinion. Think for yourself.
Question authority. Think for yourself.
Not just in voting for Game Awards, but in life too. I guess maybe if you want to get all philosophical and stuff, just that's what's going on right now. Go to Google Game Awards. Go do your thing. Put your vote in, and we'll see what happens Thursday. I just don't want Death Stranding to win stuff. That's all that boils down to.
I threw this idea around with you, and we'll see how far it goes. If you guys would give a shit, I was thinking about actually live streaming the Game Awards, and you know how every big guy, big name does it. So we'll live stream it with us sitting here chilling. Have us in a little corner. You'll be able to hear us, talk a little bit. We'll try to make it more about the Game Awards than us, but you could come hang out and watch the Game Awards with us. So I think that'd be fun. Mm-hmm. I wanted to do that with something a couple of months ago.
Are they going to do it live on something?
I'm sure.
I'm assuming YouTube will probably have like a live thing. Twitch will probably do something.
Yeah, we'll be able to find it somewhere.
Yeah.
So if save the date. Come hang out with Talking Snacks. Thursday, Game Awards.
That'll also mark the last day of this semester for me, so that'll be cool.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Party. Join us.
Party. Yep. 2 days left. I got a test on Wednesday and a test on Thursday, and then I'm through with this semester.
Did you do good?
I think so. So, yeah. We'll see how that pans out, I guess.
Yeah. Next up, what? I like how I got do this thing where like I'm actually looking through stuff, even though the list is right here. But I'm like, yes, let me look through our notes here. This is something you're more excited about, I think, because I had no idea.
Right.
Tekken
7 had another thing drop today. Leroy Smith, a new original character, came out alongside of Ganryu, but nobody really cares about Ganryu. He's like the Dan Hibiki of Tekken.
Man, you just said a bunch of words. What was I think? It's a word salad.
Word salad. No, we got 2 new characters today. Leroy Smith is a original character, like fresh, unlike a lot of the characters that they've released with past seasons. It would have just been like,
what's the guy from Walking Dead?
Oh,
Negan.
Yeah, Negan.
Is he in the game?
Yeah, he's in there.
And Noctis.
Noctis is also in there. Then
Weird.
they got Geese Howard as well,
I don't know who
and
that is.
he's from King of Fighters.
Oh,
I think the same one that Terry Bogart is from, the guy that was just put on Smash.
Oh,
so
trucker hat, long hair.
Yeah,
Dusty Slay.
Dusty Slay. All right. I just adjusted my glasses that like he does. We're having a good time.
Like to tell you, we're having a good time.
Yeah. No, but anyway, the Leroy thing is pretty hype for me because I follow Tekken stuff pretty well. It's like my big major fighting game to watch, you know.
Like Evo tournaments.
Like
and
Evo,
stuff like
yeah,
that, yeah,
Evo tournament wise and stuff. That's always my go-to because it combines a little bit of every fighting game. The footsies, the mental stuff, the combos, just awareness in general of, most fighting games either have their one thing they go with. Where you watch like a Street Fighter game and it's all about the footsies and just like throwing out a move here or there, like quick little jab and whatever. And if somebody messes up, you might get them like a 3-hit combo out of it, which, not dissing it or anything. That's a completely different like ball game. It's a lot more footsies based, more mental pressure and everything. And then you watch something like Smash where it's just like all over the place, or like Blaze Blue or any of those anime fighting games. It's kind of the same thing where it's just all over the place. No, you can't really tell what's going on. Tekken's like a nice little middle ground where it does have those like mental footsies kind of thing, but it's also got where it's not just stale to watch. You know what I mean?
For someone that doesn't understand what footsies is, myself included, I'm not going to sit here and act like I do. When you say footsies, what exactly?
Well, you know what I mean. Like, so take your fighting game like Street Fighter, right? And you have like a person on the left, a person on the right, and they just kind of advance on each other,
and
like
then
really
scoot back and
scoot back.
They
and
block it and then scoot, and then they just kind of
It's-
wait to whoever gets the first hit, and then they
right, because like in a lot of those games, whoever throws out the first punch
and like actually connects and gets through.
Yeah, and connects is like it's either gonna land and lead into something, or they're gonna miss, and then the other guy is going to come in and punish him for missing his attack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they it happens all the time in Street Fighter. Well, they'll go back and forth, and somebody will like throw out an attack, and the other guy will either like back off and it'll miss, and then he'll go in for his attack, and it kind of goes back and forth like that. That's what I mean by footsies. Mortal Kombat's a little kind of the same way.
I think it changed up with whenever they added like the supers and the combos, or not the combos, but the breakers and stuff, and like a breaker versus like a super breaker. Because I swear it used to be just like straight up beat the shit out of them, first hit wins.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if you can kind of save up your super bar. I haven't played a lot of 11, but 9 used to be really bad about whoever got first hit.
Pretty much.
Yep, carried it out and you're over. But I think 10, or just Mortal Kombat, I think is what they rebranded it as.
The X, Mortal Kombat X.
Yeah, MKX, yeah. They added the breaker. I could be wrong, but yeah. You can just straight up stop them in their tracks. And
not to dive too deep down into it, because this might go over some people's heads, but like Mortal Kombat's a lot more lenient to watch than like Street Fighter. Because like in Mortal Kombat, you can throw out moves and they'll get blocked. And it kind of resets to neutral. Where like the person who did the blocking can't really punish that person
for missing, or not hurting him,
right? So it's a lot. There's a lot more action, so to speak, on screen to watch. Versus like in Street Fighter, if a guy throws a punch and it gets blocked, he's gonna get fucked up probably. You know what I mean? So instead of it being like a coin flip of like, oh, is this attack gonna connect, or am I just gonna get shit on now? It's more like both people can go back and forth, and it's a lot more fun to watch, I think, as a spectator point of view. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's getting back to the Tekken thing. That's why I like Tekken, because it's a little bit of everything. Like, they can attack all day long, and certain attacks, they can get blocked, and it'll just kind of reset back to, you know, like, all right, I threw that attack out, you blocked it, okay, now let's see where we go from here. You know, that kind of thing.
When I bought Tekken 7, it's been a while. I was pretty into it for, you know how I am. I dive into shit really hard for like a month, maybe 2. And even after that, I kept up with, because you came over and you were showing me like tournaments and stuff.
Lil Majin, shout out.
Yeah.
My favorite Tekken player.
I genuinely enjoy watching fighting games. Mm-hmm. Even if I don't know like the technical aspects, like footsies and whatnot, they're just, I don't know, maybe it's just a gamer point of view.
Oh,
I love the standoffs. I love, you know, you could feel the pressure between the guys just blankly staring at the screen, not moving. And
they are very hyped to watch. No doubt. There's a lot of emotion that goes into fighting games.
And watching them good comebacks, man. Nothing's better than having a sliver of health and then just getting your moment to shine and carrying and juggling, and
you get the right thing. Like, you know, they always play sets. That's the fighting game, like standard, like 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5 sets, whatever. And like nothing is more hype than going to that last set, like 5th game, final round, and like both people on the edge of their seat and the crowd's going crazy or whatever. And it's just like that's what the spectators want. That's what they live for, you know. So pretty hype.
Also the angry people that flip tables when they lose. That's always fun.
I mean, you're always gonna have those no matter what.
Those
happens.
are fun.
But yeah, Leroy Smith came out. That's a little bit of news. Sorry for the tangents thing. Speaking of tangents, did I tell you about the time I went to a Tekken tournament?
No.
Yeah.
Did you play?
Yeah.
Oh.
The first animation we went to.
Oh.
Which was been a while now, but as back in 2011, I believe.
At Raleigh.
Yeah, that's the anime convention in Raleigh. They do usually on Labor Day weekend, right? That's the one in May.
I don't know.
I think it's Labor Day. Either Labor
Something
Day
about
or
White and Labor Day.
Yeah,
that's all I know about it. I don't know what date it lands on.
Or is it Memorial Day? Whichever one is in May. You know, that weekend where most people have work off on Friday. The first one we went to was 2011. I think Tekken 6 had just come out, I believe. And we got into that really heavy. Another quick side note: don't play fighting games with friends because it tears friendships apart. We
not really, but it does. Yeah, there's some tension
some
in the
salt
air.
that'll there's some salt
Last
there.
time we played Smash Brothers, I slammed my controller.
I mean, it happens.
And it was a friendly match too. I wasn't even mad, and then I lost, and I just straight up tried to break a GameCube controller, and then I was just like, okay, my bad, sorry.
So anyway, I signed up for a Tekken 6 tournament at this Animazement thing, and my main guy was Lars, and like I thought I was ready because I took him into practice mode. I did the frame data. I knew a couple combos, little juggles, and everything, and I got up to right before semifinals and got just destroyed, just absolutely shit on.
No contest.
Yeah, pretty much, because up to that point, I was able to like cheese my way into some victories, you know, like doing combos in practice modes. You can do that all day long, no problem. Finding it in an actual match, a lot harder. So I usually
now was this arcade board or did they have controllers? What was it? What was the setup?
I played with a controller, but there were people there with arcade boards.
Will they bring their own?
Yeah.
Arcade
yeah, absolutely. And there was people going around like filming and everything. Like this one guy, I remember he was playing. I believe it was Bob, but he had one of his friends.
The big fat guy.
Yeah, he literally had one of his friends videotaping his match, like I guess to go back and study later or something. It was like
videotaping.
Yeah. Or filming, sorry, rather, yeah, whatever.
Who's videotaped in a long time?
But anyway, didn't make it too far into that whole thing. I don't even know if there was a prize or not. I just kind of wanted to flex nuts and be like, yeah, I play some Tekken. I know what's up.
I've never entered a tournament on anything. I went to a Guitar Hero tournament. Just saying Guitar Hero should let you know how long ago it was. I think it was Guitar Hero 3. It was in a bar in Greensboro. And I didn't know how it was going to be played, but oh no, they had the whole bar. It was like a spectacle.
Oh wow, really?
Oh yeah, it tore me up because I was sitting there. I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna.
So
do
what
this.
Did they do it?
I went up on stage, And I'm gonna. There's no way that I was that bad, but one, they had the whole bar like dimmed down that way they could watch the people on this little stage, and I'm like, oh fuck, this ain't good for me. And they were using a fucking projector, which I bet you that had some latency. Yeah. So I was missing so many fucking notes. I was sweaty palms, and like I got up there, and it was like an easy song too, and I just fucking failed. And then I went back to my dad, who took me there. I was like, all right, let's go. He was like, what happened? I was like, I don't want to talk about it. Let's just go home.
Did they do it? What they do based off score? Or did they do that battle mode thing?
Oh, it was based off score. You were playing the same song on each side, and then whoever had the highest score. And like, dude, I just
okay. Cause see, I also have a Guitar Hero story. Me and Zach went to the beach one time because his family's got like a timeshare. And they had like a recreational center thing on the site. It was like one of those timeshare suburb things at the beach, whatever. Like instead of like a hotel, it's like houses, you know, like a complex or whatever. And I guess like once a month they did Guitar Hero tournaments, and it was the same thing. They casted it through a projector, and immediately my like red flag started going out with me. I was like, okay, now that's not good. And then they did that battle mode shit, which
that's not even.
It's terrible. Where it's like you hit 4 notes in a row, and then all of a sudden the other guy can't even hit his notes because he's got the whammy bar malfunction or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like
the invisible notes.
Yeah, whoever fails first is like out, and I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid.
It is battle mode.
I guess so, but I mean,
but the real issue was the input lag. I don't think they calibrated that at all. There's a setting in Guitar Hero just for that because, hey, what do you know? It's a time-sensitive rhythm game. Whatever. I'm not too salty about it. I know I could have won. Well, not the whole tournament, but I could have beat that guy.
Yeah.
But sweaty palms and input lag, buddy, let me tell you, did not work in my favor.
It's probably not a good spectacle if you have 16 people go up there and go to options and be like, all right, let me adjust for my strum real quick. You know, because it does that whole...
Well, you should have been able to set it once and then it'd been all right. If somebody wanted to come up there and complain.
But everybody's got different reaction times, you know, so you gotta do that whole...
But once you time it pretty close to right, that's right.
No, I feel you.
If it's just set up and like it come off an old CRT TV plugged straight into a projector, you're gonna have wild input lag.
Yeah.
All over the place. But I don't know, that's the extent of my tournament going, video gaming.
Yeah.
Oh, on down the list.
This is your thing. I don't know anything about this.
You know, the Nintendo Switch has its little online, I'm putting quotes. What comes with those online is the online subscription that you pay, other than being able to play the games that you were already able to play. Look, I'm not going to get into that. Anyway, paying the subscription gives you free old school games.
Right.
And earlier this year, I think of January, they finally added Super Nintendo games. Not January, it's been a while. But they finally added Super Nintendo games. We've been waiting.
What took them so long?
Nintendo doesn't give a shit about its fans.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Because, I mean, how hard could it actually fucking been?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess as hard as making Joy-Cons that work.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, we finally got Super Nintendo games not too long ago. Lineup was okay, but instead of doing releases every month like they had been doing, when they added Super Nintendo, they were like, whoa, don't get excited like we're going to be adding games every month like we have been. Now that Super Nintendo's out, we're not going to do that anymore.
So what are they doing, little teases?
Yep. So now, 3 months later, I think, they finally added a new batch. And this is why I had to put it on the list. Motherfucking Kirby Superstar has finally made it to a modern console. You can play Kirby Superstar.
Has that not been a thing before? That wasn't on the Wii?
It was on the Wii U, but now I can play it portably.
Nice.
Yeah, I can play my all-time, like, probably most played as a child.
The future is now. We can play SNES games on the go.
I remember I rented that game so many times my dad bought it. From the rental place.
Brewers?
No, the one that was beside where the Rio Grande is now.
Oh, yeah, there was a video. Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, you're right.
We rented Kirby Superstar so many times that my dad was just like, we'll just buy it for you. And mine still had the sticker on it for that place.
Nice.
Yeah. There's actually a couple of other games, but I really wanted to just bring up the fact that Kirby Superstar was on there.
Some things.
Yes. So,
what's some of the other ones? What's the big ones?
Some of the other ones, Star Fox 2, which is
Oh, I didn't
really cool.
I didn't even know there was a second Star Fox on the SNES.
Yeah, well, it never actually got released.
Ah.
Yeah. But with the SNES Mini, they actually kind of finished it up as best they could and put it on there. Because the game had been like ROM dumped online for years.
Right.
So you've been able to play it. It was just unfinished. And yeah, now that's on there. That was like really the only buying point for a lot of people for buying the SNES Mini, sorry. Like, hey, there's an old incomplete game that they put.
Game.
Yeah. But they finally added, like I said, Kirby Superstar. They added Super Punch Out. Some people will be excited.
That's a good one. Me and my dad played that a lot. Good
really?
Bonding moments as a child. That's a hard game.
Punch Out was hard.
Yeah. We could never beat Mike Tyson.
Sure.
I don't know if that's the one he's in.
Well, that's the first one.
No.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Super Punch Out. So
Super Punch Out also had no, you're right. I'm thinking of a different one. Now there was a guy on Super Punch Out who was like Mike Tyson.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah, and I think it was called Sandman. Because he had a one hit KO move on you essentially, and the boss fight essentially. It was ridiculous.
You ever watched speed runs and stuff of that?
Yes, wild.
There's a
blindfolded run of Super Punch Out. It's crazy to watch. They did it at AGDQ one time, and the guy was like,
"Sounds."
Yeah, he beat the first guy, and was like, "If I did that right, the time should be this," and he had it down to like the millisecond, and he called it out, and the crowd was just like, "What?
Yeah,
what?"
It's great. It's great. I actually went down a whole YouTube rabbit hole of like blind runs and all kinds of runs like that.
People are dedicated.
They also added Breath of Fire 2. Never played the Breath of Fire series.
I don't know what it is.
They're JRPGs.
Oh, neat.
Yep. People really love them, and they want them to come back, but whoever develops that shit does not give a fuck.
So that's all we get for this month is 4 games?
Well, they also added some NES games, but I think the NES kind of ran its course. No one cares anymore.
I don't recognize either one of them. Crystallis and Journey to Silius.
That's the silliest shit you've ever said.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But, goddamn.
Hit
that awful King DDD is at it again, buddy.
Hit me up when they get Yoshi's Island on there.
It's already on there. That was one of the first 20.
Oh, word.
Yeah. I've been playing through that, actually. So, yeah. We're gonna get some co-op on this one day.
Is it a co-op game?
Yeah. You can always... all Kirby games, pretty much. Split off.
Nice. I gotta play... I'm gonna play as Yellow Kirby, though.
No. You gotta be one of the enemies that you absorb.
Oh, man, you gotta play as one of the Waddle Dees or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
That's boring.
No, man, you get their abilities. It's neat.
I mean, what does a Waddle Dee even do? Shoot a laser out of its eye or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't sold you on it yet, but we'll get there. The story's fantastic.
I mean...
Do I need to replay that scene?
Sorry. I didn't play that one. I was a Nightmare in Dreamland kind of guy. Shout out to Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, that was a SNES game. It's actually on there too.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Moving on down the list, sticking with the Nintendo news, there's a huge Mario Maker update.
Nice.
That adds Link as a playable character of sorts. So it adds a lot to the game, to be honest with you. As silly as it sounds, just adding Link.
Oh, so it sounds like they found the missing link
to
the Mario Maker.
Sounds like they ran out of ideas and they were like, fuck it, just put something in there that we can add a bunch of other shit to deal with.
I mean, if the boot fits, right?
So basically, the Master Sword is a item that you can drop into the world, and once Mario picks it up, he becomes Link. And I don't know if you played any Mario Maker, so this might not be...
I've seen a lot of videos on it, though. I know, I get the idea of it.
So this adds a whole lot more, possibilities as opposed to just platforming.
So what does it do for the character? What is
You can shoot arrows. You have a shield. You can bounce off projectiles. You can leave bombs. You can.
There's about to be some crazy stages.
Like, it sounds simple, but yeah, now that they've added all that, that's like unlimited amounts of shit for one guy in Japan to make a million stages for.
Yeah, I've seen some really wild Mario Maker stages, dog. Like, even the ones that like spell it out for you, with like the arrows and everything, like those crazy, insane stages where it's like, ride the shell across the thorns and then jump and then kick that shell off of a jumpy
where
pad.
You gotta just
stuff like that. Also, I like the ones where you don't do anything.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
you literally like walk 2 steps forward and the stage just plays itself. Or
you don't
something.
even move. Like it'll just drop a spring-loaded box and it'll smack you, and then you just
like don't push any buttons, but you complete the stage just from crazy nonsense. It's like, how much time did people? What the? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I've always wanted to get a capture card. I think we brought that up again, but
you bought an SD drive instead.
SSD, yeah, I did. It'll be here soon.
Nice.
And a power supply.
Nice.
Yep, that would have bought
a capture card.
Yeah, would have bought a capture card.
That's crazy how that works. We're PC people now.
We're PC people now. So yeah, I'd love to get one of those. I mean, you could do some Mario Maker stuff. That'd be really cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know about making levels, but I'll play some levels.
Oh yeah.
My creativity's not the greatest.
That rumble there. Sorry about that. Kick the table.
Need a better chair.
Yeah. Well, that and the chair. So yeah, that's pretty much the news this week.
As far as we give a shit about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's also there's leaks about the new Xbox being digital only.
Gross.
I don't know if you heard about that. Well, it's not. You can buy a digital only version. Apparently, there's a rumor that I believe Kotaku sprinkled out.
Was it Jason Schreier?
I don't know.
Probably was Jason Schreier. Boy, his nose is up everyone's ass. If there's a story breaking, it's Jason Schreier, boy.
I don't really take Kotaku's word at heart. You know, just because
they're pretty reputable. They're not the worst.
Which one am I thinking of? The ones that the shit one.
I mean, it's hit or miss. Like some people like Kotaku, some people call them the biggest piece of shit. You know.
Yeah.
But like that's I'll break up Jason Schreier one more time. What's that guy that falsified a review and it was kind of all over a bunch of like news outlets and stuff?
Jim Sterling.
No.
Okay.
Anyway, I think it was earlier this year. Some guy copied another man's review and put it up.
Oh yeah, I remember you showed me that.
And then like Jason Schreier brought it to somebody's attention, and the guy literally bucked at him and was like, "You're just a fucking shitty Kotaku reporter." And he was like,
"Here's screenshots."
He was like, "Bet." He got in contact with that guy's like past jobs, employers, got resumes that he falsified information on, lied about his qualifications. He got fired for actually plagiarism multiple times from different jobs. And then, yeah. So, Kotaku does have some news there.
As it turns out, plagiarism is a big deal. Sony probably could have got that memo when they released their newest winter lineup music video.
Damn! Why don't we bring that up?
I don't know if that was newsworthy, but
that was newsworthy. That's pretty.
Basically, a few days ago, Sony released like a
25 years of play, it
was just like I guess it's something they do over there in Japan. Like, it's basically a long like music video, like showcasing a bunch of winter games that are coming out, like Yakuza and Modern Warfare. So basically everything that's in the last quarter of the year. And in between the gameplay, they had like a little avatar guy, like animated all whimsically and stuff. And the internet did what it did best, and was like,
I've seen this somewhere.
Straight up noticed and was like, this animation looks very similar. And sure enough, like literally every animation cell frame that they did was like ripped and copied from like other animations, other anime, just pretty much anything you can think of, and they just copied it frame by frame and just traced over it. So
if we can find that video you showed me the other day, we'll link that below.
I mean,
that way people check that out, because
it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's literally frame for frame.
I thought maybe it's them paying homage to, but
homage would be one thing if it was like maybe one.
I don't know why I did that. I'm so sorry.
That's going to be loud as hell.
I am so sorry. Let's just back it up.
Just leave it in there now. I mean, we've already did the thing, but
I'm so sorry. I just totally
just instinct, huh?
Just crushed a beer can with a mic live. Damn.
But yeah, paying homage is one thing if you you just copy an animation style and just sort of do that, but like literally tracing over something like frame for frame is just little overkill, I think, and certain people are not happy about that. But what are you going to do? I mean,
they have a lot of money.
They do have a lot of money.
You know who doesn't have a lot of money?
The people who made that animation that they copied.
I was gonna say us and the people that are bringing that to everybody's attention. So you can quieten anything down with enough money.
Sure.
Yeah.
So there's your news, quote unquote, for the.
I know we should have been in the dots. Anyway, moving on to what we care about. This is a segment where we talk about what we care about. What games coming out this week, and
it's actually a lot of them. Turns out.
Well, boy, man, this is indie fever this time of the year. Apparently.
Oh, yeah, it's indie fever every week, essentially.
Well, I think indie developers are smart.
They see AAA games coming out, and they're like, "Let's not release."
Yep, they time their little games in between.
I mean, that is the best way to do it.
So that's I'm not hating on them for that, but Jesus Christ, this week I was like, man, we got a lot of stuff to pick from, and I looked through it all and was like, I've never heard of most of these. So I don't know. I chose what we care about, as we do. Sorry, I did a trademark grin. Anyway, first on the list, Boneworks. We actually talked about this last week or the week before when we brought up Half-Life Alyx.
Alyx, yeah.
Yeah. It's a VR game that
is just ridiculous.
Honestly, it looks like Alyx kind of ripped from it.
A little bit.
We don't know.
This game has been in works for months. They've
years.
Possibly. Like they've got development videos on it, like dating back to like months and months ago of like just their progress and like just little implementation,
and
like
simple things that they've been trying to put into said game.
Yeah, but they are. When we seen it at the time, like I discovered this like I said months ago. And when I first seen it, I was like, this is what VR. This is what it needs to be. This is what it's leading up to. This is like a developing studio that said, we're tired of gimmicky VR things. Let's see what we can do with a full on like VR,
like single player shooter kind of like actual, not just like a mini game, not 5 mini games, an actual developed game.
This would be like if a AAA developer decided to make a VR game. This is what I think it would equate to essentially, and that's kind of what they're going for.
But AAA developers, they can't just take a risk.
That's what it comes down to, right? They don't want to gamble on like how many people have a VR headset, like.
Yeah, but if you don't keep making the same thing that people are used to years and years and years and years in a row, how will you ever make that sweet, sweet Activision, Ubisoft money?
Right. How many Assassin's Creeds do we have now?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. How many Call of Duties do we have?
Exactly.
Man, let's shit out a sports game. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about Boneworks because I think we covered it more the other week and all that good jazz. This one's interesting. This one you brought to my attention. I wasn't even going to put it on the list, but you were like, just
run with it.
Yeah, just kind of check it out and tell me what you think about it. Looks interesting to say the least. Is it Black Sad?
Yeah.
Black Sad. All one word. Kinda. I was gonna say kind of reminds you of like, what'd you call it earlier? Wolf Among Us.
I'm pretty sure that's the title of it. That old Telltale game. You're like
old.
It's pretty old.
Is it?
It's like
a couple years.
7 years old.
Oh
now.
Damn! I didn't think it was that old.
I mean, that was one of like the first ones they released, right after the Walking Dead thing. Anyway, you've seen it before. The Telltale games, sort of a point and click adventure situation. You kind of walk around like a little. It
gives you those old school kind of like 90s PC game vibes where
you walk
the
into
environment's
a room,
open and you kind of walk around and you
interact with
snoop
things
and pick around until you find out what your puzzle. I guess there's a puzzle of some sort. You got to piece it together and get your info that you need and solve your way out of the situation.
It's a little bit of that mixed with like maybe some LA noir stuff thrown in there just for sake of like the setting. It seems to be like in the 40s, 50s setting.
Yeah.
Just based off of what we saw from trailers and like gameplay that we watched. The biggest selling point is...
Is this the biggest? Because you're laughing.
It's all anthropomorphic animals. So the detective that you play as is just a straight up like alley cat with just... He's a humanoid except for his face is just an alley cat, and like every person, quote unquote, in the game is like that. There was a rhino guy at one point.
It was very interesting because I figured, okay, he's a cat, so there's going to be a lot of cats. No, he just storms into a bar and like, It kind of reminds me of that one video you show me all the time, that music video.
Oh, the Caravan Palace, the Lone Digger thing. Pretty much like that, yeah.
Yeah, he goes in and there's all kinds of animals, and they're all just basically humans. Just, it was a wild ride during that trailer. I was very confused.
Well, apparently it's based off of a graphic novel.
It's been around forever, according to some YouTube comments.
Yeah, so I guess an indie developer was like, hey, you know what would make a great game? That comic. And they did it.
Definitely an interesting look and an interesting take. I think
the gameplay, on the other hand.
Well, don't talk about the gameplay. I guess it would be more of a mix.
It looked
like an audio kind of.
It's something. You could definitely tell they were drawing inspiration from like the Telltale series, but they did
By
not.
how janky it was? No, that's mean.
But they did not execute it on it too well. There was very awkward audio stuff going on. Some things didn't even have sound coming from it. There was no music or anything. It was just literally dead silence while the character was like interacting with things, and it was just very cringy in a way almost.
Boy, there was this one scene where he was pushing a shelf, no sound whatsoever, just a screen and a QuickTime event of him pushing said shelf. And he made the worst and best grunts. I mean, as sexualized as you can have grunts with them somehow supposed to be physical, like, I don't know, was it just...
It was, but it was nothing backing it up either. Like, he's pushing, like, this heavy metal door thing.
There's, like, no resistance to it, really.
Yeah, there's
it's
no,
just
like...
him not able to quite push it, and he's just, like, he's orgasming. Just, like, honestly... I don't want to do it. I don't want to do the sounds, but man, it was great.
Yeah, there was no, but that was the only audio that was coming through. There was no like metal scraping or like
ambient music,
yeah, or anything. It was just like raw MP3 file of just like grunting.
It wasn't even like 5 seconds. It wasn't even 10 seconds. It was like 20 seconds of just straight huffing, puffing, and grunting. Finally, when he finished, he literally grunted it off and sighed and cleared his throat. And I died. I fucking died. Like, what the fuck was that? What?
That aside...
Man, well, I'm going to link that one there. I'm going to link that there. I'll even put a little timestamp beside it that way you can figure that out.
That aside, it did look pretty cool for them.
Unique, really.
Yeah, for a little indie developer, no-name developer to come up with something like that. I'm sure it was a lot of work they put into it. Very story-driven, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Even watching that gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
Because he was head deep in some lore there, talking about all these people and picking up sticky notes and reading stuff off the walls, and your character's making small little subtle hints towards what's going on in the story. So definitely going to be heavy story-driven, kind of.
Part of me kind of wants to pick it up. Maybe if it goes on sale at some point, I might.
How much could a game like that be? I would hope like $20.
$20.
Yeah, that seems like one of them good old $20 games.
Yeah. So we'll maybe have some news on that to be determined. Maybe I'll pick that up. I haven't really had much to play lately, but
pick it up, stream it, capture some stuff, send it to me.
Well, I don't want to say it like that. There's a lot I can play right now, but I'm just not because I'm lazy and I'm telling you, Disney Plus has just like ruined me. I've watched Doctor Strange like 5 times for no reason.
I actually like that movie.
I do too.
It's a really good movie.
That's probably my favorite. No, I take it back. Spider-Man's my favorite guy, but Doctor Strange close second. And why aren't the Spider-Man movies on there? Is that still with that whole kerfuffle of Sony and stuff?
Kerfuffle.
Silly.
Can we get a list of our favorite words?
Kerfuffle's a good one.
Kerfuffle's up there for me.
Yeah. What's that one we used? I don't know. I can't remember it. We used it a couple podcasts ago. It was like,
Now I really want to know. I hate wasting people's time, but
I'm hoping. It'll come back to me at some random point. I'll shout it out, and yeah, hankering. There we go. That's what it was. I don't remember what the context was that I used it for.
I've been hankering for some gears. I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Gears.
But anyway.
Sorry. Tangents, man. I was looking into merch. Too expensive.
To make merch?
Well, for the amount of people that would want to help us out and stuff.
Hey, man, you start small, right?
Yeah. You buy custom stickers. You could buy like 20 of them for.
I want Mighty Morphin Tangent Time merch.
Yeah.
I want that should be our first shirt.
A shirt? I was just checking out like stickers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We'd come up with like a custom graphic. Like Talking Snacks or something. Or Mighty Morphin Tangent Time sticker.
Just partner up with like a Chinese clothes company.
Partner up is really hard when, we're still low on the view count.
Well, let's just buy them.
What are we buying?
The factory.
Oh, yes.
Where they make shirts and things.
Let's hit up Blizzard and see what...
Oh, okay. See how they run their whole operation.
Yeah, we'll see
Take
how China works. China. Anyway, on to the games. Shovel Knight is getting its final expansion this week.
Oh, is this the final one?
This is the final one. Jesus Christ. Can you think of like a harder working indie developer giving you what you fucking want?
This game came out when I was 2.
I don't even remember being alive.
This game's been out for a minute, hasn't it?
I don't even want to guess. But I remember playing it on Vita. If that probably doesn't say too much.
So at least 5 years.
Yeah. I loved Shovel Knight. Fun.
I never played
Loved the chiptune music that went along with it. Loved the 2D old school like Nintendo NES era.
Your voice just changed suddenly.
Did it?
Oh, I don't know.
Did it? Now I want to go back and check.
Nah, you good.
What?
Huh?
I don't know.
It was a good game. I just never played it. I've seen a lot of videos on it and everything. And Metroidvania style?
Not really. They're more linear story levels.
Like Ninja Gaiden-esque.
Maybe.
Or like Turtles in Time.
It has a grid-based like level system, so you progress here, beat this one.
It's
and
Mario.
Mario. Hard, yeah, little difficult platformers every now and then. You could make it more difficult by at checkpoints, and if you would like actually beat your checkpoints up, you could get cash.
What, and buy stuff?
Like upgrades, yeah. But then you would have to start the whole level over.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if you wanted like, oh man, I could totally beat this level in one try. Just break your checkpoint, get a lot of money. But if you don't make it to the end, you start it over. You can keep trying.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I got you. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
That's neat.
It is neat. But it looks like it's finally getting the resolve that it deserves.
And then we're going to get Shovel Knight 2.
Probably. Because it's had like, what, 4 or 5
Dig them up them holes.
All the bosses in it basically are your expansions.
Oh, okay.
And it had some exclusive bosses as well.
Okay.
Depending on which platform you played it on, I played it on Vita, so Kratos was an optional boss.
What the okay.
Yeah, so you could go beat up Kratos. Xbox, I think, had Battletoads.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
So that was during that whole resurgence of Battletoads. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
Why did that happen? I don't know.
I don't know. People calling up GameStop. You have Battletoads? You remember that whole prank call thing?
I don't.
Yeah.
I just remember Big Yosh.
Big Yosh.
That donkey video.
He thick.
You guys
Do you have Big Yoshi?
Bring up Google.
Type
you
in
see him?
Big Yoshi.
You see him there? Yeah.
You got that guy? That's him.
Love Donkey.
Yeah. His videos are great.
If only we could make something.
Well, he got to start on League of Legends. Let's make League of Legends videos.
I don't do the League of Legends. Maybe I should.
I don't do the League of Legends.
Well, my girlfriend's about to start playing it.
Boy, you about to learn today.
I probably will.
Yep.
Yep, she got her PC today. So, either I'll lose a girlfriend or learn how to play some League of Legends.
It's not a hard game to learn. Incredibly hard to master, though, so be prepared for that if you do go down that rabbit hole. Just don't get hooked like we did. That's about all we played for 3 years straight.
I've been pretty good on the microtransactions.
I was not.
Normally, I can hold off. Like, I understand games are free and they need a way to do that, but I've never really been the one to pay for skins or pay for extras like that. The only game that I think got me with microtransactions, Fortnite might count, maybe.
Did you put some money in Fortnite?
I bought battle passes and I bought skins.
Oh,
only like 1 or 2, but
That's not bad. Dude, League of Legends for me was like a Ponzi scheme.
Pokemon Go destroyed my wallet.
Honestly, yeah, I'll tell you.
Because we don't live around a bunch of Pokestops.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's kind of...
Yeah, I can see that one. I've put a little bit of money into Pokemon Go as well. But League of Legends, when that was popping off, that was the big one. Because at the time, like, I was working at Subway, and I didn't really have anything to pay for while I was going to school. So, like, literally any extra disposable income I had was like, well, let me get that skin for that character real quick. I don't need it, but, you know, if I ever play them, it'll look fresh. And then, like, then they came out with the whole gifting system, like, a little while after that. And I was like, Colin, what you up to today? Here's a skin for you, homie, for just, like, no reason, dog. Just enjoy that skin, man. You know, just for... It was silly. It was a dumb time. Me and Dustin both got caught in that League of Legends skin trap. I don't even want to know how much money I put into that shit. Probably in the thousands easily. Yeah, it was bad.
Damn. Yeah, like I said, never really let a game get me like that.
But that's how they did that. That's how they did their marketing strategy, and it worked for them, obviously.
Well, see, I don't have a problem like paying for microtransactions if I appreciate the game and it's free to play. But don't you dare hand me a fucking $60 game that I've paid for and ask me to buy a loot box or buy some in-game credits
on top of that.
Yeah, like you can eat my goddamn asshole.
Well, that's what that was the whole was it Battlefront 2 or the newest Battlefront game?
Yeah,
where they did this was essentially pay to win thing.
And it was like it would take this many hours to unlock this character, or you could just buy loot boxes.
Yeah, because I remember like literally the second day after that game came out, there was somebody who dropped like, I don't remember how much, it was a lot of money on it to get like some sort of Darth Vader upgrade. And when he finally got the chance to buy Darth Vader, you know, like through the game currency thing or with the score that it keeps track of, you know, how well you're doing, whatever, your kill streak, I guess, essentially. He picked Darth Vader and literally it was just like a wrap after that. Because he had so many upgrades for Darth Vader that he literally just went through and was just like slaughtering just everything, everyone in his way, and they couldn't do anything about it because he had bought so many upgrades for it. So you do it that way, also bad. But I also agree with the thing you said, because the way that Overwatch does their loot boxes, not a fan.
Not a fan, but it's not bad. But it's still not warranted, I don't think. You shouldn't play a game or buy a game and have to play that long or that hard to get a certain skin or a certain shit you give a fuck about.
No, I agree.
Like, there's so many unlockables in that game that playing the loot box system for everything is stupid.
Yeah. There was a video I watched. You remember when Apex Legends first came out?
Mm-hmm.
There was I watched a video and a guy was like, how much money do you have to spend to unlock everything in Apex Legends? And it was like $2,000 or something. And that game did the same thing, where it's like, it has so much shit in it that you don't even need.
Or want or care about.
Yeah, but it gives it to you in boxes. Like, quips and banners and titles and trackers and, like, just shit that's like...
Who cares?
I don't care about that. That doesn't make...
Nobody cares about it, but it's enough to... It fills a loot box, and it makes the pool of shit you can get versus shit you want exponentially bigger for no fucking reason.
Yep.
So,
yep.
I know we talked a bit about loot boxes a couple episodes ago, but...
Yeah, we brought them up before, but they're pretty terrible. They're cancerous.
Yeah. Actually, no, we didn't. Joey sent in that question, and we never answered it. I forgot to add it in.
Oh, well. There's our opinion on loot boxes for the most part.
Yep.
I hate them. I hate everything about them, because even to take it a step further, like, it basically just promotes gambling in a way.
Yeah.
You ever seen that whole thing on, like, CSGO?
Boy, have you ever...
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to Jim Sterling?
Oh, does he talk about that?
Oh, yeah, he hates them. He's a strong advocate for like making them illegal because basically they are gambling. People that don't know they have a gambling addiction that plays video games roll once, get something they kind of like, so they're like, hey,
well, like
just throw more money at it. Maybe So.
To go into more detail about it, like CS:GO is the worst for it because apparently like a lot of kids got into this whole thing that play CS:GO, and like they have websites where you can gamble essentially what you get out of your box, your loot box. You can put that up for like a roulette essentially, and if you win that roulette, you can maybe get like a better skin, quote unquote, that's worth more Steam wallet money. And like it was the whole thing was a scam because the people that were running the site would essentially pick and choose who gets what based off of how much.
Oh, you talk about those guys that they got found out?
Yeah.
They were like, I don't know the whole logistics behind it or whatever, but
Was,
I know what you're talking about. They had this website, and they were just making so much money off of like other people's shit or other people using their shit. But yeah, and someone found out, and
and the biggest thing was the kids were getting involved with it. Like they were literally like buying loot boxes to get skins to go to this website where they had no chance of winning the thing, and then putting the money that they had just spent up for a lottery essentially. And that's just shitty in every way, shape, and form. I mean, the whole thing is shitty, but as soon as that, it keeps going and going, and it's they eventually got caught and busted, but there's still other sites that are similar to that, like still alive and well. So it's pretty rough. Loot boxes suck. All around.
All around. Even if they're strictly cosmetic or anything, if it's an option. I had to put this little thing in there. If it's an option to either buy it or work 1,000 hours to get it, terrible.
Well, see, that's
you need to make it more of a compromise. Don't make it $10 or 1,000 hours. Like make it a dedicated choice. Maybe like I'm thinking Overwatch mainly because that was a big thing. I don't care about a bunch of characters. Can I not have like a character preference or like limit it down to where it gives like, me a spray for, whatever, or
it's like,
a voice line for a character that I've never fucking played.
It's like, I want my loot boxes to be focused mainly on Symmetra.
Something like that. Yeah, but they're not going to do that. They just need to get banned altogether and let people actually earn things in game. Oh my god.
Well, that's why I like the way that League did it, because like if a skin come out and you liked it, you could just straight up buy it. $5. There you go. Cheers. You don't have to roll the dice to get a box or something. You see something you like, you can just straight up buy it if you want. You don't have to, but you can.
Yeah.
You don't.
That's not as bad, but loot box is terrible. We'll move on.
Yeah. I beat that horse to death.
Yeah, we did. But it needs to be. How is it still a thing? Anyway, Joey, we kind of actually just took a question in from you from last week that I forgot about. Super sorry about that. But we're going to move on to the actual subject of Topics to the Table. This is where you, the viewer, the listener, the whatever you would like to call yourself, you kind of send in your questions, we answer them, give us our best, give you our best opinions. Sorry, I'm trying to rapid fire it like I know what I'm doing, but I'm stumbling over words. I'll get the hang of it one day.
Do you have terms for your fans yet?
I don't know. I thought about that as I was saying that.
It should be like, shout out to all my snackers out there.
Oh, that sounds good. I don't know. This week, who do you think's going
in? Cabe.
No. I don't think Cabe makes it through these. He listens to them, but he doesn't. I don't think he makes them through the end.
Cabe, where's your questions at?
All right, Joey, A1 Day 1. Here you go, boy. Sticking around with us,
God bless him.
I know, right? Do you think a newer Switch is coming in 2020? A Switch Pro of sorts? If one was to be announced, would you buy it? If yes, what would you expect to be different to entice the purchase?
Better hardware.
Better hardware's, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, what else would they do for a Switch Pro?
I don't see them making a Switch or a newer Switch yet. If anything, they'll probably just do a whole different console. But that would be my main go-to.
I mean, they've kind of made different Switches without a lot of fanfare. There's 2 SKUs of the original Switch out now.
Mm-hmm.
There's the old school base model like I have, and then there's a separate SKU that has a bigger battery in it and like a little redesign internally.
Yeah, but that doesn't give you much more of anything.
It gives you more battery life.
Yeah, but in terms of
that's
gaming,
it. But yeah, it's still the same price, and not a lot of people know, and it's that's kind of a shitty upgrade, and especially due to your consumers as well.
If it was,
it's not really labeled on the newer Switches either.
So if it was up to me, if I was running Nintendo, I would make the hardware up to date with current gen shit.
They absolutely need to get on the fucking bandwagon.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. All these gimmicks and stuff are so played out that it's silly.
For years now at this point.
Yeah.
And I still buy into it. I mean, I just love Nintendo, and I know that sounds stupid, but so I can't really complain.
I mean, it's something.
You're supposed to, if you dislike something, vote with your wallet. If if enough people actually took that into consideration and didn't spend money on things that they want to complain about, maybe shit would change. But a lot of people purchase and buy shit and then still beat the drum about how shitty it is.
I get that, but like, we're on the cuspus of like 4K becoming a thing. Like it's knocking on the door. We're stepping into native 4K territory with games, media in general, TV, whatever, and the Switch is still living that 720 life. I don't get it.
That's portable mode, but yeah.
Yeah, but I just don't understand it. And you take the Switch's back panel off, and its hardware is literally just like an inch by an inch, or not an inch by an. You know what I'm saying though. There's not a lot to it.
Yeah, no.
Where's?
I mean, it's impressive to do what it does. To be honest.
Well, sure, but like it's literally the entire back of that Switch is like 3/4 empty space. It's all just crammed into like one little corner.
You still got to take into effect that most of Nintendo's audience is
bullshit. Don't even say it's kids.
It is kids.
It's not, dog.
They target a lot of kids.
Those kids have grown up. They're our age now, and they're still playing Nintendo.
But they're still new kids.
Well, sure, but those same new kids are playing PlayStation and Xbox, where their hardware is fucking comparable to gaming PCs. Like,
well, I normally think younger kids when I think Nintendo, but
okay, sure.
You know what I mean?
I know, I feel you, I get you.
Maybe parents that actually, instead of blaming the system, take control of what their fucking kids play, and they're like, hey, instead of you might not like it right now, but instead of getting you the new Call of Duty when you're fucking 6 years old, I'm gonna get you this fucking Mario Party and this Mario Kart, Well,
shout out to parents like that, first of all.
Well, you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
No, I get you. I understand that point, but...
So that's a lot of Nintendo's, banging the drum on that kind of shit.
Why can't they just compromise, though? Sure, they can have all those...
But still, even back to your original point, what does that have to do with why isn't their hardware up to par?
Yeah.
So what's I don't understand why they haven't done it and why they still lag behind like that, but... We all just buy into the shit.
Not all of us. Boy, your Discord blowing up.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what exactly just happened, but... So, to answer Joey's question, really nothing can entice me to get a Switch 2.0 or whatever you would like to call it.
I've said it before at this point. I'm still on the fence about getting a Switch.
It's still going to play Switch games. Maybe it'll run it better, but I mean, what are you running better?
And why are they on cards? Why is that a thing?
Faster and cheaper.
Faster and cheaper. Faster how?
Load times. There's like no load times.
Well, just do the install thing like Xbox and PlayStation do.
I mean, they do if you download them.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, it's also portable. You can't just slap a fucking disc in there.
Why specifically? I mean, you could have if it was bigger and was a console instead of a little portable thing. I just don't understand.
I mean, you can't really make a disc-based portable thing. Sony tried that.
I mean,
more than once.
Yeah, but
they had music and they had music players like that too. Not talking CDs, but the UMDs.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
I'm just saying but Nintendo dominates the market on portable stuff.
Yeah,
GameCube disc could have easily fit in a Switch.
Yeah, but an optical drive.
Same difference.
An optical drive and a portable. Remember playing CDs back in the day? Come on now.
I mean, there's
technology's,
there's more stuff out than CDs now. We're past CDs, dog.
Yeah.
Take a GameCube disc and just make it Blu-ray, and then what do you got?
I mean, grab a Blu-ray player while it's trying to play a thing and take a walk with it. Let's see how well it works.
Let me take a walk with it.
Walk around with it.
Install it.
No, okay. Well, what's the difference with the chip?
That's how much storage is on the chip.
I think at max, the biggest chip out is a 32 gig chip.
That's garbage. That's awful. Upgrade your hardware. Get your hardware up to date.
They made The Witcher 3 fit on a 32 gig chip.
That's awful. It's terrible. It just goes. It all comes back to the hardware. Please make your thing better. God, I get the appeal. Don't get me wrong. That's cool. If you like Nintendo things for its exclusives and stuff, I'm not knocking that at all. I love that. I grew up with them all day, every day. GameCube, hands down, one of the best consoles ever made. And then they just dropped acid one day and was like, what if we just did not that? Let's just make crazy things. And then we got the Wii U, and then the Switch, and then next thing I know, I guess we're just going to be walking around with Joy-Con strapped to our hands and feet.
Extremities, yeah. Look at was it Joy-Con? That workout game.
Yeah, Ring Fit
Adventure. I wanted to say Wii Fit Adventure, but that didn't sound right.
So Joey, for me personally, it just comes down to just bring it back to the console, please, for the love of God. Give me a controller and a console, and upgrade your hardware. Imagine what Super Mario Odyssey could do if it had all the fucking RAM and processing power of a PS4.
How weird would Mario look? Super photorealism,
dude. You don't have to do that. You can change the art style. Look at Wind Waker. Wind Waker looked phenomenal.
Still looks phenomenal
with that cell shaded art style thing. Just do something like that and slap it on Mario.
Mario Odyssey looks fantastic and fine.
Yeah, but it could look better. Is all I'm saying.
What more can they add to that game to make it look better?
A better resolution would be one thing.
It runs 1080 on the docked.
Well, my PS4 Pro runs upscaled 4K. So, just saying, next gen consoles are gonna have native 4K. So,
yeah.
See how the Switch handles that. They'll probably go back to 480. The way they're doing things.
So, I guess Cuff would like a 4K Switch, which I don't think will happen, and nothing can make me buy it. I don't think, because there's no way they're going to isolate their fan base to make, games.
They're not isolating a fan base.
No, I mean by making like Switch Pro or whatever exclusive games.
It'd be cool though.
So that would be, I would think, franchise or whatever suicide. It would not be a good look.
Yeah, well, that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. I brought a topic in, actually, last week. We didn't get to do it because I think we ran a little towards the end, and I said I was going to save it for this week.
Is that the question we had?
Yeah. And is it against the rules for me to bring a question in?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. It's my podcast.
Okay,
our podcast.
There you go.
Have we ever tried to get our parents into gaming? Now, I actually stole this from another podcast I listened to. I thought it was a really interesting topic, and I would like to throw it around with you. So, yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Have you ever, your mom and pop tried to get them to actually play a game? Whether it been years ago, now, how did it go?
Mom, no. Mom never played games. That's like trying to teach a new foreign language, essentially. I have seen her try to play games before, and it didn't work. It's weird. It's like watching a fish grow legs. It just doesn't know what to do. Like a baby take those first few steps. Kind of thing.
They feel so empowered, and it's crazy, and they're having a good time, and then
they don't ever
want to do it again.
I remember specifically playing thing was like Halo 2 back in the day, and just randomly I was like, "Hey, Mom, here, play this real quick." And she's like, "What am I doing?" And I was like, "You see those alien-looking things? You just shoot them. See that button right there? That's shoot. That's how you walk. That's how you aim, and then that's how you shoot." And immediately they would.
And that's when we learned.
That's
because I have the same story, kinda, that
they cannot multitask.
Well, joysticks to people that have never used them
are wild.
Yeah.
Because immediately
they don't know. They just can't get it.
This is immediately what she did. She could not aim and move at the same time. And when she did move, it was just in one direction the whole time. So
and it's like no info is getting to them.
Yeah.
It's just they're watching this character spin and they're like, what am I doing?
On the screen, she's walking into a wall, right? But she just keeps doing it. And I'm like, okay, maybe stop doing that. All right, now use that one to aim that way, and now try walking again. And then she actually went forward that time, and then just walked by everything. So immediately there was no multitasking going on there. It was rough to watch.
Yeah,
that's about the extent I've seen my mom try to play games, and apparently back in the day she used to play arcade games a lot.
That's what I get from my parents too.
Miss Pac-Man, the Rollabout.
Yeah.
And Eden, they used to have all those old school arcade games, and apparently she could just kill Miss Pac-Man.
Oh, my mom says the same thing.
Yeah. And,
boy, we'd wreck them.
Yeah.
We'd fucking wreck them. They have no idea. How do you wreck somebody on Miss Pac-Man? Just get a better score, eat more fruits.
I guess, yeah. I made it to stage 6. What'd you get to?
I don't know. I quit playing after the first quarter because I got bored. I don't.
Now, my dad, on the other hand, he actually did keep up for a bit, but I guess like once online gaming kind of became a thing, or I guess maybe just his age or loss of interest, he kind of tapered off. But that's who introduced me to games. Pretty sure I've said it before, but like my first few conscious memories are of like having a NES and a SNES that was his, and like we would just run the gauntlet on those. He'd play Star Fox, fucking Super Mario World, all that good stuff, and like, just
God, the original Star Fox,
or the one on the SNES.
Oh my God, I'm gonna make you play that when we get done with this, because it is unplayable.
What? You're crazy.
It's unplayable.
That game's great.
That game is unfucking playable.
But even then, so he always played those. So like, we went tit for tat for that. Like, he knew how NES and SNES worked. He played them, good stuff. PS2 came out. He still kept up for a good while. He was more into like the racing kind of games.
Yeah.
One of his friends, whose sons I actually know, they went back and forth in games and stuff. They were more into like the sports racing kind of genre thing. So when the hack and slashes and the Devil May Cries and stuff came out, they didn't really play that too much. They were more onto like the basketball racing, whatever. And like one of his all time favorite games is ATV Off Road Fury. He still brings that up to this day occasionally.
Yeah, I used to play the shit out of that.
Dude, I love that game. I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong. In terms of like sports games, like nostalgia, that's a good one. Good soundtrack, good controls. Just
man, butt rock soundtrack though. It literally was. It was like fucking 2000s radio rock.
Yep.
Slapped on a desk.
Yep. But so yeah, he kept up with gaming for a while. I wouldn't say he was like into gaming, but he could probably play games nowadays if he got the feel for them.
Yeah.
You know, he just kind of tapered off, so to speak.
Mine's a little different. Kind of. My mom always says that she could kill Miss Pac-Man as well.
Yeah, you're not to no offense, but your parents don't really strike me as gaming.
Oh no,
people.
not at all. But oddly enough, my dad got the original NES for some reason back. Shit, I probably wasn't even born when they got it or some shit. I don't know. My dad said he got it and he played a little bit and then gave it to me whenever I was old enough to fuck around and do shit. And he never really played with me or anything. Actually, my uncle who lived next door, he was a really big gamer. He used to mod his consoles and stuff when I was growing up, and I always thought that was badass. He had a modded PS1 and could play bootleg games, and that was really cool.
Wow, that takes some knowledge back in that day. Oof.
Well, he's a computer IT guy.
Yeah, well, that makes sense then.
Yeah. So I'd always go over there, and he'd play games with me. Me and him would play games. But as far as my parents, never really could get my dad to play anything. I got him to play. I can't remember the race. Oh, it was Gran Turismo on the PS2 because it's racing.
Right.
My dad's a big motorhead.
Ooh, sorry, not to interrupt you real quick, but that was another one. Do you remember the original Xbox? One of the first things that launched with it was Jet Set Radio Future and what was it? Sega Racing something or other, I believe.
Damn, it's not over here. It's in the other room. Okay, I tried.
You know what I'm talking about, though. It came
Sega GT Racing or some shit like that, right?
Something like that. He was big into that one too, and I lean more on the Jet Set Radio.
Yeah,
obviously.
I love Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
But like I said, I got him to play 2-player with me on.
God, what was it? Sorry, you go ahead. It's bothering me now.
Gran Turismo. It was one of the PS2 ones. Man, he'd never played a game before in his fucking life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was really crazy to watch him even try to grab a controller with joysticks on it. My father played like it was an arcade stick.
Sega GT 2002. That's
there you go. Yeah. But he played like it was an arcade stick. He had his index fingers on both joysticks, each hand, thumb and index finger for each one, for one to control the camera and one to drive with. and he would like use his pinky to like drive for gas and brake.
That's okay.
So imagine putting a PS2 on a table, like
and just like it was an art. Yeah, I got you.
And I was like, "Come on, we're gonna play this." He's like, "Oh, it's a racing game." I'm like, "Yeah, you can pick your car and everything." He was excited, and I was excited. I was gonna play a game with my dad.
How often does that happen?
It never happened ever again because one, let me tell you, he beat the shit out of me.
Oh wow, for real?
It was wild. It was wild.
Interesting.
Yep, because I chose a track, I chose a car, went on through it. He chose his car. He was like, "Oh, I can tune it," and I'm like, "Yeah, you could, whatever that stuff is." He was like, "Oh man,"
It just went
and
nuts.
he went in there and he fucking tuned his car.
Quick interrupt here. Randy, Roger's father, is a car guru.
Yeah, he's a car guy.
This man is literally the Stephen Hawking of mechanics.
But yeah, so I sat there forever getting very impatient as he tweaked every little thing that he could about everything. And I'd be damned if his little index finger and thumb grabbing on joysticks, he beat me. He beat me multiple times. And I got so mad as a kid because I don't know how old I was, but it was just wild.
Yeah.
I mean, but he got me into the whole thing and never really played, and that was pretty heart shattering for me. I was like, "I'm gonna show you how to do this, pops." And then he's like, "No, cars, shit, get out my way."
Well, so that leads me into another thing because that whole ATV off-road fury thing I was telling you about. My dad would do the same thing. And I didn't know what any of the shit meant, but like it had like a thing you could go into where you could adjust like suspension, shocks, torque, horsepower, brake, traction, or whatever.
Yeah.
And like he knew it so well that he could actually like whatever stage was coming up, he'd be like, "Oh, I know this stage. I need to do this. I need to tune this. It's got a lot of dunes, and you want that bouncy suspension." So and I'm just like, whatever, just default settings, just get me through the thing, and just randomly, it just popped in my head. That game would do this thing where if you were going like really, really fast, the camera would do like this weird thing where it would go from like being third person top like angled, it would kind of pull down a little bit, like it was trying to keep up. Like, holy shit, you're going so fast that you're doing this, and like the first time we seen that happen, we were like, what is going on? And eventually we found out like. He had it tuned so well that he was hitting like crazy in-game speeds. The camera was like doing that roadie run Gears of War thing, where it's like trying to shake it. Yeah, shaky. And it was like, what the hell is that? Beating all the lap records and everything, high scores. This is crazy. So I guess just something about the racing games just get to them. But another thing that kind of stuck out that I just remembered was back when I lived in Mayodan. This is the SNES days. They had I think it was, I don't remember the name of it.
God, if we ever get popular,
what?
We're gonna have to kill all these.
What do you mean?
If we get like Game Grumps or some shit status just from doing whatever it is we do, content wise, and we have all these old podcasts where we literally just name drop like a quarter mile down the road from where we are.
Sorry, I'm bad about that.
That's okay. I mean, it doesn't matter now.
It's just
but
storytelling things, but
yeah.
Anyway, back in the SNES days, they had like a college hoops game. It was essentially like an NBA game, but with the college teams instead. And essentially, like my dad and his little group of friends or whatever, they're big into college basketball, and they would have like dedicated college hoops nights at people's houses. And I remember one time they were all at our house, and I was like maybe 4 or 5 at the time, and it was like they were watching a live game. Like on the TV, and instead it was just like shitty pixelated like 16-bit
but everyone was so excited.
But everybody was like literally like sitting around in a crowded little living room with like cigarettes, smoking beer and snacks and stuff, and they were, yeah, oh my god, it's wild.
Yeah, growing up, I never really knew a lot of parents that played at all. Like I said, my uncle was really cool for me. I'd go over there. Shout out to Shane, actually. His dad, it always surprised the shit out of me. His dad was a PC guy and built him and his son PCs. Mm-hmm. So I'd always go over there and I'd play on his dad's PC, and we'd basically play online together side by side on PC builds. And then when his dad would get home, he'd be like, well, I got to move because his dad wants to play because he just got off work. And, I respect that. And it just blew my mind, kind of growing up. Because I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I remember I went over there.
How the hell a dad knows how to do this? It's wild.
I remember I went over there a few years ago, and like it was in Shane's, or I don't know whose room. Shane's room was like over here, and then they had like the PC gaming room, which was like literally to the right. And it was literally like one corner had this set up, and then the other corner had this set up.
Yep.
And we'd play like Dota or something, and it's like, wow, you got 2 PCs? Yeah, one's for me, one's for my dad. I'm like, that's pretty neat.
I'm actually working on that, to be honest with you.
You like getting multiple PC things? Oh my god.
Yeah. Because everybody wants to haggle with this fucking shit I'm trying to sell.
Oh wow.
And I'm not putting up with it.
Okay.
So I found a cheap case and a cheap board. I'm gonna slap it together.
And you got another PC?
Yep. Because I got a power supply, got RAM. All it needs a GPU. Be good to go.
Doesn't it need a motherboard?
That's what I said.
Oh.
Got a board.
Okay. My bad.
Cheap board, about $50. AM4 socket, slap this one in it.
We can just resell it?
I could resell it, but we'd keep it.
For what?
I don't know. I have 2 computers, 2 setups.
Dumb.
Oh, man. So, that's pretty much been Topics to the Table. And this has pretty much been Talking Snacks. I do want to give a shout out to a couple of people, regardless if they'll hear this or not. Joey Plummer has actually hit me up, and he's been in quite a few of my live streams over the past couple of days. I want to appreciate you kind of promoting me. He actually hosted one of my my stream earlier this week, and that was really cool. He said he checks out the podcast regularly, so this is your shout out.
Nice.
Shout out to PC Honey, who is somebody I met on Twitter that is kind of helping me with a little bit of Discord, setting up my Discord channel for the podcast and the streams and stuff like that. She gave me a lot of insight on what to actually do, so that was really cool. I want to welcome my girlfriend to the PC gaming forefront.
I'm sorry, Cam.
Yeah. So I think we'll play some games together. I hope she does.
Think.
Well, she doesn't like the same kind of games I do, but I'm like, you have Game Pass, and I was like, you don't play
now you have something to play Final Fantasy 14 with her. Does she ever beat Shadowbringers?
No.
That is ridiculous.
She never makes it to the end of these podcasts either.
Huh?
She never makes it to the end of these podcasts either, so we're good.
Kim, beat Shadowbringers. Please. God, it's so good. The final boss, top tier. I don't know. Well, I don't.
And that music too. Another shout out to, I don't know what to call it. I guess just Lee Maynard.
Okay.
Yep. He found my stuff today, and
as always, shout outs to Brandon Cardwell for the first merch ideas. That'll come to fruition at some point.
I mean, Brandon and Joey, they know. No,
they know.
Yeah, they know. They send us questions.
Yeah. Well, that'll be in response. At the bottom of it, when we finally do get merch going off the tables, we'll have to put like that little squiggly line in like Brandon Cardwell 2019. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like Bam Bam 2019.
There you go. So yeah, but most importantly, thanks to everybody actually that tunes in, listens, shares my stuff, shares all this, and actually gives a shit about what we do. We try to come through for you guys each week, and thank you.
Big ups to all y'all. He threw it over to me, and
I know. I was gonna let you get your piece if you wanted it.
I was mid burp, so I had to like think off the cuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been episode 15 of Talking Snacks, a gaming podcast.
What? It's episode 16.
No, it's not. we had to do a couple of takes because I forgot the number. So now you know that. Yeah. Thanks, you guys. Have a good rest of your week.